Gentlemen, let me hit you with a question. And for some of you, it's going to sting a little bit. But hey, I know some of us have been looking for a job for a while. But if you think manhood, if it came up with a job description, how many of y'all's resume would look good enough to get hired? In the book, Manhood, the Masculine Virtues That America Needs, Josh Housley, who's a senator, outlines 6 ancient roles that every man is built to embody. That's husband, father, warrior, builder, priest, and king. Men, as we know, our ancestors were out there fighting wars, building nations, and raising their families while we're out there, fighting the urge to text our ex at 11 p.m. We gotta get better than that. So today, we're gonna go through each of those roles, and it's not to shame you, it's really to sharpen you, because if you're missing one of these, your life actually might be out of alignment. So, let's get at it. I'm Rob Johnson. I want to welcome you to the Legacy Gentleman channel. On this channel, every day, we talk about the values, skills, and works that'll be admired and desired 1,000 years from now. And when you have that, you serve. You are a legacy gentleman. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the roles of man. So the first role we're going to talk about is about being a husband. Because as you know, being a husband is not about Netflix and chilling. It's really about a covenant and about character. See, Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Here's a translation if you missed it. Leadership isn't about dominance. It's really about sacrifice. It's saying that I will carry the burden, I will take the hit, and I will stay even when it's hard. Look, too many men treat marriage like it's a subscription plan and that you can cancel it at any time. And yeah, so do women. I understand that women in marriages way more often than men, but hey, it's still a reality that we got to start by checking ourselves first. But gentlemen, commitment builds character. And when you love a woman deeply, you learn the art of devotion, above patience, and about grace. And like I said before, I understand that most marriages are broken up by women, and that just means we need to do a better job about picking the right woman to marry. And guys, look, you do not have to be perfect to be a father. You just have to be there. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1 in 4 kids grow up without their biological father. That's not just a stat, it's also about a generation without guidance, and that's 100% what we're all trying to avoid. As we all know, when men abandon fatherhood, that's when society really starts to collapse. Because when your dad is gone, the kids learn manhood from YouTube and from TV or from chaos. Even if you're like me and didn't have a father, you can still become a great father. Even if you're like me and didn't grow up with a father, you can still become one to someone. Even if it's not biologically, it can be spiritually. We can all take the time to mentor a boy and encourage young men to walk into manhood, which is what someone did to me. I had a United Way big brother for most of my high school year, and he was a man that actually taught me a lot about manhood and standing up for yourself and walking into manhood. And he really lived this idea that just his presence was somebody else's protection. It really was that for me. See, Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. Gentlemen, legacy isn't about building it through DNA. It's about building it through discipline and building it through the Word of God. So let me talk about the warrior, because this is one of those aspects of manhood that really does get twisted. Because today the world says masculine strength is toxic. No, weakness disguised as virtue is what's toxic. Being a warrior doesn't mean you pick a fight. It means that standing firm when others would normally fold. It's the man who says, no, I'm on watch, just like what Nehemiah did when he rebuilt Jerusalem's wall with a sword in one hand and a trowel to build a wall in the other. That's what we need today. Men who can protect and build at the same time. Not like those keyboard commanders who are raising their way in comments, but actual men with a backbone and a prayer life and purpose. See, warriors, they fight for faith, they fight for family, they fight for freedom and not for followers. Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4 says, by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. It's not just talking about home construction, it's also talking about self-construction. See, Josh Howley argues that men must be producers, not just consumers. And that's right. Our ancestors built barns, they built churches, they built towns, and we're out there, building playlists and Reddit threads. Come on, man. Let's get out there and build something that's going to last longer than like a TikTok trend. Build businesses, build homes, build a legacy, or at least fix that broken door that's been annoying you for the last 6 months. See, building, it really does give meaning to your strength and purpose to your pain. Here's the one that way too many men end up skipping, and that's the priest. And that's a man who intercedes, who prays, and who sets the tone in his house. Men often say, I don't know how to lead spiritually. But look, you don't have to be a theologian, brother. You just have to show up, pray over your wife, read the Proverbs to your children. Your home is your very first ministry. See, Joshua 25 and 15 says, as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. That's not just a quote, it is a declaration of territory. See, look, you don't need a robe and a choir, you just need consistency. If you lead your home with faith, you won't need to fix it with regret. Finally, we get to the king. And for a lot of us, when you hear the term king, one of two things happen. If you're me, you think of that term short king and you want to puke. Or for a lot of other people, your ego lights up and you're like, yeah, like there, I'm the man. And I would say, look, take it easy, Mufasa. Real kings don't rule by dominance, they rule by discipline. Like I said, Proverbs 29 and 4 says, by justice, a king gives his country stability. The meaning of that is that authority comes from integrity. Kings don't just command, they also create order. They establish peace and they uplift their people. That's why you got to rule your inner kingdom first, your habits, your time, your thoughts, before you can lead anyone else. Gentleman, husband, father, warrior, builder, priest, and king, that's not just a list, guys. It is a legacy. And look, you don't have to master all 6 of these today, but you can start with just one. And being faithful, and God will grow the rest. So here's the challenge, men. Pick up your weakest role this week and work on it. Live stronger, lead deeper, pray louder, build something real. Because look, at the end of the day, the world doesn't need more influencers. It needs more men of influence. This message hit home, then like the video and share it with someone. Drop something in the comments. Guys, keep working on being all 6. And until next time, go be legendary.